Folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Got a hopefully quick video for you, but very, very important stuff. A little bit different than a normal video for me. I want to talk about this heat and the drought and the high prices to feed animals. It's getting worse. Any of you, well, everyone should know this, but especially those of you that have animals or live in farming areas, it's getting pretty bad. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news. As bad as it is now, it's going to be worse next year. Even if we don't have the droughts that we're dealing with, the selling off of herds, the culling of herds, the lack of food to feed the animals, it's going to affect us greatly because, for instance, most of the grain feed that you're feeding animals right now, most of that came from last year's harvest. So it's just going to get worse, folks. And this isn't a doomsdayer video. This is a wake-up video because if you're not getting yourselves prepared and stocking up and making the appropriate preparations for your animals, your homestead, your family, it's going to be pretty rough. I want to talk to you, show you this. This is a local new weather forecaster in my area, in the Ozarks. This is the biggest TV station, and they broadcast pretty much the entire Ozarks. And this is their chief meteorologist that's talking, I believe, here, one of their head meteorologists. And they're doing a story on the drought and how it's affecting farming and cattle ranchers, also the diesel prices and fertilizer prices up 200% and 300%. And so this is a post that he posted, but what I'm going to read you is just some of the comments from it. These are not, me saying this. This isn't someone that's, writing into me and you don't know who they are. These are people that are just commenting. And I've only picked out a few, but I'm telling you, folks, that the stories that people are starting to tell, not just in this thread that I'm showing you, but sending to me, other people, a lot of other YouTubers are getting a lot of emails and stuff. It's just a week or so ago, well, I guess it was last week when that video came out of Emory, Texas, with all those ranchers lined up to sell their cattle. A lot of people were kind of naysaying it and saying, that's silly, that's not how it was, or it's that way all the time, or it's not a big deal. Since then, the amount of people coming to telling me, and that I've just seen online, that is saying the same thing all over the country, that there's this massive sell-off right now of cattle. It's growing, and I think we're kind of hitting that tipping point, at least somewhat, when it comes to agriculture. Anyways, let's get on to some of these comments. Here's one. It says, selling some of next week. There goes our future milk herd. Here's another one. Yep, some of our cattle is going to the sale barn. So sad. It's not one. If it's not one thing, it's another. This one here, and two of the counties here in Missouri are in drought as well. Some have been feeding hay for almost a month now. If you've ever raised cattle, to be feeding hay through the months, part of June and July, that's not good. You should be able to feed them, let them eat grass, at least around here. Around here, we don't do the whole live their life in a feedlot and feed them a bunch of junk. Here in the Ozarks, 99.99% of all the cattle, they're free range. They're grass fed for the most part. He says here, I work at a local feed store, and many are supplementing lick tubs as well as custom mixes. Many are culling their herds or selling out, but keeping a few for their own personal use. There most likely won't be a second cutting of hay around here, and that's kind of the big thing here in the Ozarks. You can have 2 cuttings of hay. You can usually have a second garden because of the growing season here, and because of it's so dry and so hot. Everyone's saying that one cutting that we got may be the only one that we get this year, and that's the same way for a lot. And this is just here in the Ozarks. You have to understand, throughout the whole Midwest, the whole wheat grain belt down into Texas, all of that, they're all feeling the same thing, and worse, because the drought and the dry and hot conditions here aren't anywhere near as bad as they are in Texas and Kansas and Nebraska and further west. You know, it's just now starting to affect here, where they've been affected by it for quite a while. So we know it's way worse. This guy says, as a farmer, I'm scared. Diesel, fertilizer, and the fact that it's so dry, I'm scared that we are going to have a cattle shortage or a hay shortage come this winter. Another person says, my daughter works for the USDA with the drought programs, and it's absolutely devastating the farmers in our areas. This person says, it's sad to have watched many of our local farmers selling cattle. We are struggling finding hay. It's going to get a lot worse. Scary. Here's one. We have cattle in Howe County and already feeding hay. So these folks in this county, they're already feeding hay. I know some of you may not know what Howe County know. That's fine. Disregard all that. The fact is they're already feeding hay. They're already feeding hay. They should be able to go, you know, around here, typically go well into, you know, October, maybe even November before they start rolling the hay out. Here's another one. It's extremely dry in their county. We have never fed hay so soon. Never. They appeared to be an older couple. Fertilizer was almost double what we paid last year. And this year we didn't put as much in the fields. Hay is double in price this year. And with us already feeding hay, it could be a long, costly winter. We are hoping and praying for rain to come soon and help us with the fall pasture. Ponds are getting really low on water. We are not hearing any help for the farmers from government, and so on. Here's one. Too many small farms are having to sell off livestock to live. Prices on food are up 30 to 40% from a year ago, and we own a small diner in a town here in Missouri. We have only raised our prices once in 2 years. It's getting harder to every day. This is absolutely insane on the price of beef and chicken, and the prices of vegetables is scary. I don't know how anyone is saving money to live on. Another one, we have cattle and have already have to feed hay. Usually we only have to feed hay in December through March on our farm. This is straight from the mouths of the people that's making your food. We are selling next week. We don't have enough hay to feed through the winter. It's so sad and heartbreaking. Another one. Drive by the Mid-Missouri Sale Barn, which is a very, very large, one of the biggest ones in the Ozarks, sale barn. You would have seen droves, backed up cattle trailers with cows on them. Economically, we as cattle ranchers are doomed with some very, very hard decisions in the coming weeks. It's so, so sad. Yesterday in Lebanon, which is another town here in Missouri, there was a lot of trailers loaded with cows going to the sale barn. These are just a sprinkling, not even hardly a scratch in the surface. It was just stuff that I saw and I thought I would jump on here and talk about briefly. Folks, tough times are coming. We've been complaining, all of us, every one of us have been complaining for the last 6 months, a year now, of the increasing prices. Gas has been going up for 2 years now. You know, inflation of food, everything's been going up. We've been complaining because we can't find, you know, the stuff we want on our shelves, baby food shortages and other condiments, sriracha. I saw it the other day that's the shortage of mustard, and other random things here and there due to the supply chain that we're complaining. Folks, no offense to any of you, because I'm speaking to myself as well. We are soft as Americans when it comes to this. We are soft. We are so used to everything being delivered when it comes, especially food, instantly, having it anytime we want and having it really, really cheap. Those days are gone. And we're going to see food prices, I'm afraid, skyrocket. And we're going to be looking back at this moment and thinking, man, I wish we were only paying those prices again. Man, I wish we were only paying $4.20 a gallon again, or $4.10 a gallon, or, you know, or whatever it is for gas, or whatever you're paying for your food, because it's going to just continue to skyrocket. We are headed into some really tough times as a nation and as a people. Myself and many others, and including a lot of experts that know way more than I do, have been warning people that a perfect storm is coming, that the end is near. These are all actual quotes from very knowledgeable people in these areas. Seriously, you need to take it serious and get stocked up. I don't want you to be afraid. I don't want you to panic. I don't want you to lose your senses, because that has the exact opposite effect of what being prepared is supposed to be. You need to keep your wits about you. You can make it through this, but you have to take it serious. You may have to make some sacrifices along the way, because it's going to hit us pretty hard before we know it. It's not even hit us yet. We're just seeing it's like the storms moving in, and we're getting those initial little waves and little storms coming in, but it's not the real storm yet. That's yet to come, my opinion. Folks, get your houses in order. Prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.